Madam Toastmasters, fellow Toastmasters, and honored guests. Every 15 minutes, a poacher kills an elephant in Africa. In 2016, 27,000 elephants were killed in Africa. That's 8% of elephants, and at this rate, the world's largest land animal is dying faster than it can reproduce. Similar atrocious numbers are seen for rhinos as well. And poachers are killing these animals for the ivory, for the tusks, and for the rhino horns. Now, African nations are fighting back because it's critical for their economy, especially for tourism, that they protect these animals. And you can see Kenya in the Nairobi National Preserve taking a good step where they lit on fire 105 tons of ivory, of tusks, of rhino horns, and trinkets, sending a message to the world that ivory is useless unless it's attached to a living animal. And so African nations are turning to technology to help find and interdict poachers and protect rhinos and elephants. So as you can see, drones are used whenever a task is either difficult, dirty, or tedious. And so you can use drones, much like the drone that I have here, to protect poachers, or to protect the park rangers as they move out, and they can also use them to find the poachers in the first place. So you can use it as sort of scouts looking over the next hill to make sure that poachers can't attack the rangers, and they have the advantage when moving. You can also use it to protect and find poachers before, so it acts as deterrence to keep them out of the site. And other people are jumping into the fight and contributing. So Brett Vilovich, an author and special operations intelligence veteran with over 15 years of experience using drones to hunt Al-Qaeda and ISIS terrorists, is now jumping in the counter drone fight. You can see Brett giving a speech or TED Talks about the potential for drone use in anti-poaching activities, and then you can, in Kenya, working with police and with a crack unit of Kenyan park rangers trained by British commandos to put all of it together. So you have the technology, you have a great unit, but how do you find the poachers? So today, we are going to be a task force in the Kenyan park of Elephantopia. If you're with me, we're going to use our brain power to figure out and stop poachers. Are you with me?
Yes.
Yeah. All right. All right, so let me orient you to Elephantopia. Elephantopia is in Kenya, and the heartland is where the rhinos and the elephants live. We are located in the operations center with Park Ranger Randy, and we've got a crack unit of Park Ranger Special Forces, and we'll move out and interdict Safari Joe, the evil poacher. Now, when I teach infantry officers how to do a defense, the first thing we look at is the enemy's avenues of approach. So there are 5, in the simplified version, there are 5 paths that lead into the heartland. Of those 5 paths, where do you think we should look? This is the field of view that one drone would have as it looks down on the ground. So you have the eyes in the sky, and it's looking down on the ground. It has a small area. So if you think about it, it's kind of looking like through a soda straw at the ground. You can't look everywhere, so you have to maximize. And this is where mathematics comes in, game theory, cat versus mouse, spy versus spy type things to figure out. So there are 4 areas that we're going to look at to highlight, and then we're going to use traditional data from where Safari Joe has been seen, reported by locals, to figure out. So just, I've got the first one up there, and we're calling that search area mountains. So where else should we put a search area? At the 4. All right, so I'll go through them. We have the search area to the northeast, the search area to the beach, and then exactly right, Viv, the search area at the road fork. And the reason being, you can find choke points like at the beach, they're gonna come off of boats. If you can find through the mountain pass, they have to go to that certain area. And then at the fork, there's certain areas that channel it in. So now how are we gonna find out when to fly the ISR and at which search area? So from our local reports of Kid Scouts, we build charts like this. So what this has is the 7 days of the week, and then the hours, a 12-hour of a clock. And then reported sightings of Safari Joe, the evil Safari Joe, are plotted, and you can start to see patterns. All right, guys, put on your thinking caps. This is the data that we have for the 4 areas: search area mountains, Northeast Road, Beach Road, and the road fork. So we need to know for tomorrow, where are we going to fly from 10 o'clock to 11 o'clock? Which search area are we going to fly to interdict Safari Joe?
Road fork.
The road fork. Drum roll, please. Sublime choice. So we have now put the ISR field of view on search area fork. We saw the evil Safari Joe, and we interdicted them with the crack park rangers. Good job, everyone. So this is a simplified version, but it kind of shows that you can use math and you can use simple kind of game theory to come up with a solution for where to go and then maximize that counter poaching operations. So if you want to help, there's a couple more resources you can look at. We have here Save the Rhino. We have Brett Villatich who's going there, and then go on a safari. If you go on a safari, you incentivize the elephants and rhino survival. All right, thanks, Tim. Is the DeLorean.
Whoa!
Ooh.
That's a good one. That's a good one.
Thank you, Madam Toastmaster. Hello, Toastmasters, guests, and of course, Patty. Thank you for your speech today. The project number 8, Getting Comfortable with Visual Aids, the same project Viviana's working on. Here, I think you picked a great topic, of course, for visuals. It was very well researched, and your purpose was very clear. In terms of the organization of the project, I felt like it almost had 2 aspects to it. There was the part about the elephants and rhino poaching, and then there's also the part about the tactics where you showed us the game. And I think a suggestion for that would be maybe to focus more on the tactical aspect, because that seems to be your area of expertise. I know you did give a lot of information that proved that you researched the topic very well, but I think that you might have spent a little bit more time on the poaching statistics, where you could have spent more time on the tactics. In terms of visuals, you had strong visuals that helped reinforce your point. I think some of the slides might have had a little too many pieces to them. Otherwise, they were very effective. In terms of having 2, I think the manual says you should have at least 2 visual aids. So you had the drone, which was awesome. Maybe one suggestion would be to unveil the drone at the time of the game and maybe say, that we could use the drone or something. Overall, the presentation style was great. You're confident and composed as usual, very natural body language, no notes, you did a great job. Your introduction included some good background information to kind of preface your speech. And then one other suggestion I had is to maybe include some of your sublime skills as an infantry training officer into your introduction to show how you're qualified to give a talk about tactics. Overall, a great speech, and I'm really excited to hear your next one. Thank you.